What's up, everyone? You're tuning in to Athletes Unplugged. I'm your host, Quell Jackson. Our guest today is a guy by the name of Michael Adams. He's a 16-year NFL veteran. He's a two-time Pro Bowler. He was able to play in Super Bowl 48 with the Denver Broncos. More importantly, his transition from player to coach with the Chicago Bears. That's what he's doing now. So we talk about that. We talk about his 16-year experience. We talk about it all here at Athletes Unplugged. You better not miss it.
Ew.
You know what? Okay, what you drinking? What you sipping on, man? You missed the intro, man. You missed my intro for you, bro.
I heard the whole thing. That shit was weak. I thought it would have been long. You know
what you sipping on? What you sipping on?
Take a guess.
Honey Jack.
Take a guess. Huh?
Honey Jack. Honey Jack.
Come on, man. That's when Hennessy's not in. Yeah, that's when
in the cupboard.
That's when I couldn't afford Hennessy when I was in Cleveland.
Hey, it's still good though. So what's up, man? How you doing in Chicago, man? Tell me about the transition from a 16-year career in the NFL, a ton of accolades, you made a ton of plays, and now you're transitioning over. You've only been retired for a year and a half now. What's that transition like from player to coach right now?
First off, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying every moment of it. I love it. I love developing players and being involved in the process. It's going well. And the transition has been challenging because, you still love the game. You still want to be a part of some aspect of the game. Mm-hmm. But now you're on the opposite side. So you're seeing how everything works and why they make their decisions, why they choose the people they do. You're getting to see those things and you're just sitting back thinking like, dang, I should have, I could have. You know what I'm saying? Just thinking about all the players that came in and out of the league. But for the most part, I'm enjoying it. I'm learning. I think the hardest part for me right now is articulating what I've learned. I played for 15 years. Sometimes what you know and what you do, you can't really teach.
Right. That was going to be my next question was, how do you go from playing under a scheme as a player to developing how to teach it? And that's something. Listen, with your 16 years, you have a ton of experience, right? There's nothing that you can watch on film that you hadn't already seen. But the other side of it is probably a transition period for you is being able to articulate and explain how to teach certain aspects of the game. So with that being said, with your 16-year career, what do you think you can add to this DB room? I got my own assumptions because I played with you in my 11 years, I played with you, 5 or 6 of those years. So I know what you bring. I'm curious to know if what do you think about what do you bring to a DB room with your experience?
Just that. I think I bring experience. I think I bring credibility. I think I bring a type of a different face and some new enthusiasm. No disrespect to any coach, but like I just left the NFL, so people see me kind of different, and they talk different because they understand I was just in the locker room last year. So,
Are you ready to deal with that? Are you ready to? Because I know it's early in OTAs and all that, but when you get into the groove of things, and how do you make that switch from player to coach? Because I know you're an honest man. You're a fun guy. You're one of the most positive guys I've ever played with, no matter what the circumstance was, no matter what the score was or the record was. Have you thought about how you're going to flip that switch, or are you going to flip that switch? Are you going to still be the same guy that I've known in the locker room, but you wear a coach's hat?
So what I would say to that is I always been coaching, playing safety. Mm-hmm. I always line people up. I was always the guy in the background or in the back showing people how to play a certain scheme or how to navigate. Now I'm not. Then I was showing them, teaching them, and playing. Now I'm just showing them and watching them and hoping they take what I've given them and transition that into making plays. I think I think I'm gonna give you an example. Champ Bailey, right? Champ Bailey did something in practice and it was crazy. Everybody, I'm like, how the hell?
I bet.
And then you would go and be like, "Hey, Champ, what's up, man? How you do that? What was you thinking?" And he'll be like, I don't know, man. Because it's hard to. He's great, and I'm not comparing myself to him by any means. First
It's
ballot.
just instincts.
It's just that he got that it where sometimes he can't explain what he just did.
Mm-hmm.
He can't explain it, but he know how to do it, and he can't teach them how to do it. So I think that's the transition that's tough for me, saying that okay, I played in this scheme and we did it this way. Now I have to teach it this way so they can understand it the way I did it.
Right. And you also don't have the freedom, as much freedom. And I don't want to put words in your mouth as you would if you were a coach. Right.
No, I don't have the freedom. I'm not the head DB coach. I'm the assistant coach.
Right.
Whatever they tell me to do, that's the way I have to put it in.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So
right. So have you guys started OTAs yet?
Yes, we started OTAs.
Okay. I know you're. What's that?
Go ahead.
I was going to say, because I was looking at the roster and I was looking at some of the guys that departed. You know, you're missing a Kyle Fuller that's no longer there. You had a Buster Screen, who I believe we both played with in Cleveland. Yeah. He was a nickelback, so you got a lot of, you got two holes to fill with that. But how has the DB room looked so far? I know it's early in OTAs. No one makes the club with shorts and all that. But what's your just general overall perception of your room at this point?
So one, I think collectively as a group, I'm excited to see him. And I'm excited to see him because it's going to be a lot of competition. It's going to be fun. You know, Jalen Johnson, last year, we brought in Trufant, who started all the games last year when he was healthy. You know what I'm saying? Lord, like we got 3 legit corners, not including guys like Duke and Tees, like not including guys like that. We got it's depth at corner where all these guys can go in, play, and start.
Right.
Well, let me ask you. Our rookies are doing their things, and I'm proud of them.
Yeah. Well, I was going to. So that by you saying that, it leads me to this other question. I know COVID had a unique, has put a damper on some guys showing up, some guys not. I know in certain states, a lot of the restrictions have been lifted. Do you guys have enough guys to actually run a practice? Because I know if I read someplace that you guys had probably the most guys opt out of all season workouts. And I don't want to put you in a tough spot, but do you have enough guys to actually, cycle guys through it and actually be able to evaluate them?
So we do have enough guys, and right now is not more of it's an evaluation process, but right now it's good because it's probably a blessing in disguise because these young guys are getting so many reps, and now we see what they really can do. And when the vets, and I explained to him, okay, you're going to be tired. You're going to get 8 reps this period probably, and you're going to be blown. But you got to get the best of it and go hard and make plays and make us say your name as long as it's something positive, because when the vets come, those 8 reps going to turn into 2. Right. Which is only right. They're vets and they're coming in. Like, it's voluntary. So nothing against like who comes, who don't, because you know how it is. Right. It's valuable to these young guys right now. And to answer your question, yes, we can evaluate, and we seeing who we have, and it's a good showing for the young guys.
Yeah, I wish this was 3 or 4 weeks from now in the middle of camp, so I can ask you, have you spotted the next Mike Adams, the guy? That's a rhetorical question. I don't want you to answer that now, but like that was one thing. When you went undrafted in 2004 out of University of Delaware, walk me through, and I'm gonna skip around a bit. Walk me through your psyche as playing at was it D1 at the time? Was University of Delaware D1 when you left?
We still D1. We won AA.
1AA. What was your psyche like in college, coming from Paterson, New Jersey? Did you have any aspirations to play in the NFL? What was that like for you?
So I always had aspirations of playing in the league. That's one. And two, like going from Paterson to Delaware, it was more of a culture shock to me. You know what I mean? I kind of didn't want to be there, but I stayed there. Thank God I stayed there. And my mental as far as going to the NFL, I always had aspirations of doing it, and I just felt like I could have played anywhere. I felt like I could have played in any college. You know what I'm saying? And I was cocky, confidence, whatever you wanted to call it. Like, I felt like I was.
That's rare, man, because you weren't highly touted coming out of high school, right?
Nah, I actually, I kind of was. I was like second on the radar. You know, if this guy doesn't come, you're gonna. But I couldn't wait. Delaware had a and I went. And funny story, it was Coach McGovern, right? Mm-hmm. Back and coach at Pittsburgh, and I was at Passaic Tech at school. And he used to come up and see me and Gerald Hayes, me and G Hayes all the time. Yeah. Guys could be a package deal, this and that. We were just talking good, right? And then come down to it, when it's time to really, really offer, they brought us both in the office. He said, "Hey, Mike, sorry, we're not going to offer you a scholarship, but if this guy doesn't commit, we'll be short."
It was one of those. I get it.
And then they took G Hayes and they offered G Hayes a scholarship, and that right there just lit some fire in my ass, right?
Yeah.
And guess what? Bill McGovern, I'm coaching with him right now.
No, are you serious?
Linebacker coach.
Wow. Have you had that conversation yet? Have you had that conversation?
I have it with him all the time.
I knew you blew him up.
I've been throwing him up all the time. I'm like, man, Bill, I mean, you'd have broken Pittsburgh. Maybe you'd have been the head coach by now. I mean,
okay, you know what I'm saying? So let me go.
He's like, hey, Pops, let me tell you. That wasn't the first mistake I made, and won't be the last.
That's a great response.
I love it.
Yeah. So let me go back a bit. Let me start over because I got a little bit ahead of myself, man. Tell me a little bit about Patterson. Let's start from where it all started for you. So the listeners, so even I can understand a better perspective of Mike Adams. You know, how was it growing up in Patterson, New Jersey? I know you have brothers. I know you have siblings. What was it like growing up in Patterson?
So Patterson, everybody have a story going into the NFL with a good picket fence, live with both parents, one parent. You know, everybody have a story, but my story is, if I grew up in a drug infested area, it's 7 brothers and sisters, it's 7 of us. We stayed in a
3-bedroom apartment, right?
Yep, 3-bedroom apartment we stayed in. And
were you the oldest, youngest?
I'm the second oldest of 7.
Second oldest.
So it's my oldest brother Jay, then it's me, then my sister, and then the rest all boys.
Wow. I know y'all tore a house up, boy. God damn.
How long it took my sister to get a boyfriend?
No, I believe it. I believe it. Yeah, man. So you have you finally escaped the trappings of Patterson, New Jersey. You get to high school. You were somewhat touted, as you said. You told a story about Geno Hayes, and you finally get to college, and you finally. So walk me through your Gerald Hayes. I'm sorry. Walk me through your senior year. I knew you guys won a national championship in 2003. I just learned that, by the way. I never knew that. But walk me through what the draft process was like for you coming from Delaware. Did you have a sense of where you would be drafted if you weren't going to be drafted? Kind of walk me through that process for us.
So I was getting touted 6th round, 7th round, then undrafted. So, but at that time, it was a grind, but my mom was with cancer at the time. So going through that at the same time, thinking I'm getting drafted, it was tough. But one thing when I look back, I was like, damn, I was busting my ass. I used to get up like 5:30 in the morning just to drive an hour and a half to Pennsylvania to work out with Vaughn Hebron. You know what I'm saying? That was the sacrifice I was making just to go to the NFL, And the grind was just serious. Like my mindset, I was just so focused just to be great, just to people that doubted me. Because at Delaware, I had a coach named Brian Broussard. I was in the office said, what you working out for? What you training for? You're not going to the NFL. Like, you're not big enough. First of all, I played with people way faster than you. I coached with people way faster than you in Wyoming when I was there, blah, blah, blah. And they ain't even sniffed the NFL. Why you think you could go? I looked at him. And one thing about him, Coach Broussard, he's just a straight shooter. He's dead serious. He never lies. And I mean, he said to this day, he meant what he said, and I knew he did. But when I made the team just to, hey, yeah, I did that. And every time he said, he'd be like, I was dead wrong and this and that, blah, blah. Like,
sometimes sometimes it's not what you need to hear. I'm sorry, it's not all the time what you want to hear, it's what you need to hear. And so you finally get to San Fran, right? You prove everyone wrong, you prove your head coach wrong. How does someone like you manage to stay around? Because you were undrafted. And back in those days, 2004, it was kill to be killed. If you were an undrafted guy, I came out in 2006, and you can attest to this. If you were an undrafted guy, no one talked to you, no one did anything for you. You had to earn everything you possibly had. And when we finally played together, this was after maybe 3 years in San Fran? How long were you in San Fran? 3 years in San Fran. It was your fourth year, which was our first year playing together. I just remember stories, man, of the time we played together of GMs trying to draft over you, starting other guys over you. And then somehow, some way, Pops always came out on top. What in the hell was that like when, first of all, you come from a 1AA school, you have a head coach tell you, what the hell are you working out for? You're not going to make it. You finally make it. You play special teams in San Fran. You get released. You go to Cleveland. They keep drafting over you. And every moment you turn around, I'm like, this guy cannot catch excuse my language, cannot catch a break. And what I do notice about you, what I did notice about you, and what I give you credit for, Pops, I know I give you a lot of crap, but like any normal person would not be able to mentally handle that. How in the hell did you handle just the disappointment in other people not giving you a shot?
Man. Shit. That shit got me tearing up right now. Because
respect, man. You don't make it 16 years without enough fire, without being consistent, without being dedicated, without being motivated, sacrificing.
I always said I wasn't never the biggest, the strongest, or the fastest, bro. I just wanted it more than you.
Yeah.
That's all. I just wanted it more than the next person that was in front of me.
Right.
As
easy as you say that, that's hard to do. And you made it look easy. And that's why a lot of guys, including myself, always have looked up to you for that one reason. Your attitude was always positive. You never blamed anybody for you not being in the position you wanted to be in, but somehow, some way you were able to achieve something that I dreamed about, little kids dream about. You played 16 damn years, bro.
Word.
Hold on. 16 years, bro. That's real, man. I got to show respect when it's there, man. But I just want to, where does that passion come from? Where, as easy as you said, it has to come from somewhere. Where did it come from for you? Was it someone that you looked up to when you were younger?
No, it's hard to sit up here and be like, and just give somebody credit for something. You know what I'm saying? It's hard for me to do that.
Right,
and the only person I can give credit to is the man upstairs, because everything, I give my credit to God, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, I do want to give credit to all the negative stuff that was around me. Absolutely. I want to give credit to all the drugs that was around me. I want to give credit to,
yeah, that's big.
My
that's
father
strong.
that was there. I want to give credit to,
that's strong.
Everybody that said I couldn't do it. I want to give credit to everybody that just
naysayer.
Hey, he not fast enough. He not strong. I want to give credit to all of them because, and I couldn't have done it without them. So I appreciate it.
Right. That's big. That's strong. For everybody listening, listen, there was when I was drafted in 2006, I always wanted to gravitate towards who had been in the league with the longest. I wanted to do whatever they were doing and emulate whatever they were doing in order for me to have a career in the league. Did you have anyone that when you got to the league and you kept overcoming all these different things that were thrown at you, whether it be injury, whether it be a GM drafting over you, did you have an old head that you could kind of go to and be like, hey, this is the business, this is what you should do, and follow me and we'll make things happen?
I wish. I messed up a lot. You know, just to get it right, which is kind of sad. You know, earlier on, like in those days, like people, it was rough. So a lot of people, but I do give credit to guys like Willie Mack, Ted Washington, Tony Parrish, Big Larry Allen. Like those guys, when I was young, you know, like especially Tony Parrish, he told me how to take care of my body. Like, hey,
right.
Everybody walking around with these big chains and earrings and rims on their car, all that stuff. You use that money to take care of your body. And then knock on wood, bro. Thank God. Like I never had surgery planned all 16 years, you know.
Which is amazing.
I missed a couple games, one I think on a rib and a high ankle sprain. I've been healthy for most of my career, bro. So
that's amazing.
Stop, man. Just taking care of my body, bro. Just doing those things. And so my pull-ups, push-ups, dips. I do all that. I've been trying to tell you to do it. And
you've been trying to tell me to do that for years. I just knew my body, bro. I have to, and used to get on me all. It was like, man, you don't need to, you know, don't overdo it. You know, you got a long season, blah, 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 blah. And I would listen, but I wouldn't. You know, I would listen, but I would still do my own thing. And I got to a point where I had to do what was comfortable for me because it was all about my mind. You know, it's like if I didn't do these things when the season got tough and when we were in Indy, if we're on a 12-play drive and we need to stop and I got to verbalize the call and make the checks, the one thing that would help me calm down and focus in was my ability to go back to my preparation. So if I didn't do those things mentally, I would have been shot. So I was going to ask you, like, what was I know you you were big on the pull-ups, the push-ups, just the old barbaric type of workout in the off season. It didn't work for me, but someone like you, you're old school, man. It worked for you, and clearly you hit a home run because you played 16 years. Can you speak a little bit about your off-season plan? Did you have a plan, or you kind of just what was that like?
Well, my off-season plan, working out, like I did like a Rocky workout. Like I never touched weights unless I was like squatting. That's it. Squatting or leg press or, you know, maybe curls here and there, but that's the only time I touch weights. But other than that, I'm doing pull-ups, I'm doing push-ups, I'm doing dips. I'm getting massages a week. I'm getting ART. I'm doing MAT. I'm getting a chiropractor. I get dry needling, hot tub.
I know it.
All of that is like you was there. Like we get stretched, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean? All of that stuff, like preparation throughout the week. People don't understand. Like you think you got time off? Nah. If you really want to succeed in this thing and you want to go far and stay healthy, we ain't finished training up, doing all of those things to probably like 7, 8 at night.
Yeah, you're right. So
I used to come
let me ask you this.
And stuff.
Say what?
Remember, I used to come to your crib stretching.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we had the whole team from Cleveland. We had the whole team from Cleveland come up, and it's funny. I was talking to wifey before this. She was like, "Who are you interviewing?" I'm like, "Pops." She was like, "Do you remember?" She told me a story that I forgot about. I guess it was like Thanksgiving, and you know, you don't eat pork. So I saw her like cooking. I'm like, "Why are you making 2 pots of greens?" She's like, "Oh, Pop's coming over. He doesn't eat pork." I said, "What?" I said, "You cooking for this man?" And I say, "You didn't tell me?" I say, "Nah, man. Nah, man. He's got too comfortable in this house." Man, used to walk in. I remember used to just walk in the front door and see what we had on the stove, man. But that's the type of relationship we had, man, a friendship we had. So I respected all of it, bro.
No doubt.
What was that going to do? So there was something that comes to mind. Do you remember? So I know you're a big traveler, right? And we had
hooking her boy up, man, with that.
Yeah. She took care of you. She took care of you. Yeah. So I know you're a big traveler, right? So Remember when it was me, you, Chuck Pagano, Pat McAfee, and
Japan,
Anthony Costanzo. Yeah, we went to Japan. I don't know if you remember, but do you remember on the we on some sort of like Amtrak or train or something like that?
Yeah.
Do you remember what happened? Do you remember what happened on the?
Yep, I know exactly what happened.
So for everybody listening, man, yo, I never forget how. First of all, it was a crazy experience because everyone on the train was quiet except for the Americans, except for us, and somehow, some way, Pops got convinced to do a pull-up contest on the subway or the train or whatever we were riding. And I never forget, man, I'm looking around and everyone looking at us and we're the only Americans being loud. But that was a good night, man. That was a great time. We had a chance to visit the troops. I don't know if you remember, we were on the bus and I think you pointed it out because Chuck Pagano, he had this mantra, grit. You know what I'm saying? Like grit, all that, he used to talk about it all the time. And you saw this sign off the bus and you told the bus driver, pull over. Like, what's going on? And when we saw this, everybody got out, took a picture. You can see that was dope, man. That was one of the dopest memories.
It was traffic coming.
Yeah, man. So that was cool, bro. That was cool. I really appreciated that.
Yeah, no doubt. That was a great time.
So let me ask you, with your 16 years, and you had a lot of different experiences in the league, good and bad. You had a bunch of ebbs and flows. Was there, early in your career, did you have that, when was that aha moment for you? It's like, you know what? I figured it out. I know my off-season routine. I know what's expected of me week in and week out. I got a feel for the practice schedule, the practice speed. Did you have that moment?
I think I had that moment probably year 7. It took me a while because I was a special teacher just grinding.
Right.
Just going.
Right.
I just started sparingly. Like I'll start this game, I'll start that game. I wasn't a full-time starter, all 16 games until year 7, I think that was. And
was that with Denver?
No,
that was after you.
I was in
Cleveland. Oh no, I'm sorry, Cleveland. I meant to say Cleveland.
Nah, I was in Cleveland. But just knowing how to study now, knowing how the angles of the game, like it took me a while, just like young guys, like it took me a while to kind of like figure it out because I was dealing with all these different coordinators. San Francisco, I had 2 different defensive coordinators.
See, people don't understand that. When you play in the league, imagine you playing under one system for 16 years.
Oh, man.
There's no question if guys have that opportunity with their ability, and if you're able to play as long as, there's no doubt in my mind you can't be a Hall of Famer. You know what I'm saying? And that's the luxury that a lot of guys, especially, and I don't want to label you, I don't call you a journeyman. I call you a guy that freaking took care of his. Everywhere you were, you made an impact. Everywhere you were, people remember you for your work ethic. And I can't say enough about your attitude, man, because I remember being in Cleveland and just having a rough time. And I remember we never said a word to each other. And I remember just seeing how positive you were in the locker room. And I'm like, damn, how's this guy able to be so positive every day? I'm ready. My body hurt. I don't want to do this. I got to do it. All these different excuses, but somehow you were able to, talk yourself into getting the job done, man, and just being the Energizer bunny that you are. That goes a long way, man. I know we talk a lot, we're good friends, but I can't say it enough how much you meant to me in that regard. Because, in Cleveland, I went through some tough, life. Went through life, grew up as a man. But so let me ask you this. I think I've asked you this before. I consider you a smart player. Do you have, some players that you when you met, you was like, man, this guy is sharp as hell, man, on the field. Because we get a bad rap. We get a bad rap of being dumb jocks, and you don't play as long as you did if you're not a smart guy. are there any other guys that when you met him and played, when you were like, man, this guy's sharp. He has it.
D-Butt.
No doubt.
D-Butt was always sharp to me. I think we make each other better though too, because
I got a question. You just
we think differently, but when we come together, like it kind of makes sense because we always piggybacking off each other. It's
yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought of that, and I'm like, yeah, because whoop such and such. Yeah. So, D-Butt, he probably was one of the smartest players I've been around. Anybody?
So let me ask you this. So playing safety in the league, and I listened to your Be a Pro podcast before you became assistant coach. You were interviewing DRC, and I remember y'all talking about a pick that he had and the nonverbal communication between the two of you pre-snap.
Yeah.
Because I played linebacker and I dealt with that with D linemen. I've never asked you this, and I've always wondered, what is that communication like when you said you had Champ Bailey on one side, you had Chris Harris in the slot, you had DRC over here, and then you in the post. Like, what is that like? Like, how what is the nonverbal communication like? I don't know. If let's say he was playing cover 3 and he's going to jump something. Can you walk me through a scenario where that's happened and it worked out?
So it worked out a lot. It worked out with all 3 of them actually: Champ Bailey, Chris Harris, and DRC. Because one thing about it, like, and I want to bring it back to this real quick. OTAs. That's why OTAs is important. All of those guys was at OTAs with me, and we was there together. And you build that.
So chemistry. You have time to make mistakes and time to iron things out.
Yeah, and when the game is on, it's easy because Champ Bailey, he used to be like this. He nod his head like, yo, like that.
Okay.
He'd do a subtle. Okay. And DRC would do the same thing, but DRC like this. He animated. He like, yo,
right. That's what's up, man.
The most subtle is Chris. Chris be like, yo.
But what kind of stresses does that put on a strong safety / free safety? You know, you guys are interchangeable.
There's no stress.
I always wondered what that was like, because I've had conversations with like a guy like Zach Kerr when we was in Indy, because he was so nimble and good with his hands. Sometimes I would tell him, hey, bro, go make a play. I'll play off of you. And there's not many guys that I could say that to, but Zach Kerr was one of those guys. Sean Rogers was one of those guys in Cleveland. A few other guys that my mind can't think of right now, but I always wondered what that non-communication was like, and what did that look like in the meeting room? Let's say it didn't work out. What is that like? Are you guys on the same page? Like, I'm not going to, because you know how it is in the meeting room. If somebody busted the coverage.
Yeah.
Okay.
We won't throw nobody in the bus, or like if it don't happen the way we want, we'll be like, "Hey, coach, that's my fault. I take responsibility."
But you had a better recruit though. But could you do that with a younger mob at corner? And
with Joe Hayden, I did. With Joe Hayden.
Yeah. Okay.
Because he was just super athletic. You know what I'm saying? And
right.
How could you not trust him? Go ahead, do what you do. Go. You know, he's just
And I remember DRC saying when you were interviewing him on your podcast, Be a Pro, he said, you know what, you gave me the freedom to play within the system. And I think that's what makes you what's going to make you a great coach, because once you get the transition part down on how to communicate, how to, articulate and verbalize certain techniques, I think that's what makes former players great coaches and potentially front office in management. So, with that being said, do you see yourself in the front office one day of an NFL franchise?
I do. I see myself. Some days I see myself as a head coach. Sometimes I see as a GM. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm gonna never be content. I'm always gonna be trying to grow. And I think I owe that to, every person that look up to me. Every black and brown person that's trying to get in a, higher position. Young kids that's looking up to me, period. Like, or just players like, yo, just keep going. Right. I gotta keep growing, That's
Right.
that's
Well,
just
speaking of growing, I think you're a great role model because you were able to position yourself during your time playing football. You and Ariana currently own Milk and Honey Babies in Hudson Park in New York. That's big
yeah,
time.
yeah.
If
Hudson Yards.
anyone has never been to New York, Hudson Yards is big time. Only exclusive shopping is done in Hudson Yards, and you have a storefront there. And I've been there a couple of times. A lot of this stuff is expensive, but rightfully so. It's great. And listen, it's some great stuff there, man. But can you talk to me a little bit about when was that transition like for you? Because you always used to preach to me, man. I was like, hey, man, you need to do more. You need to do this. You need to do that. And I was like, man, I know my truth, man. I can't do more than one thing at one time. But you've always been able to balance different projects at the same time. When did you decide at what point of your career that off the field and having business ventures was important to you?
I always thought it was important earlier in the league when I first got in because off, I never seen the amount of money go in my bank account. Second, I didn't know how long I was gonna last or how many years. So I tried to just build connections and try to have my money work for me while I'm still trying to work, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't know what was gonna happen. Like shit. We just talked about it. Coaches, they always every year they brought in somebody to replace me. Mm-hmm. Every year they brought in somebody to replace me just to compete with me, and which I never mind. I didn't mind at all the competition.
Yeah, but now you say that because you've been through it. You were able to persevere and push through it. But I remember being released from Cleveland, bro. Like that struck a chord with me. That hit me hard. That was the first time after 8 years that I had to go through a team not wanting me and feeling that. You had to deal with it, 6 times? Was the first time as difficult as the last time you got released from a team? Or did it become easier? Because we're all human, right? I like to say we put our bodies through a blender to play this game that we absolutely love.
Here's one thing I couldn't say. Like the only time I've been released was my rookie year when I got released to be practice squad, right?
Yeah.
So I played out every last one of my contracts. They just I just never got it. So I take that as a blessing. Like I just played out all my contracts, never got released, and just being released sometimes I just wanted to move on, and other times I did feel like that. I felt like I was unwanted, which is fine. Like, you 32 teams, you can't play for all 32 at one time anyway.
It's a fair emotion, right?
So all you need is one team to like you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you leave Cleveland, you go to Denver, and that's when everything turns over. You're playing with Peyton Manning, you got Champ Bailey, you got DRC, you got Chris Harris, you got TJ Ward. You have Von Miller. Y'all got a squad on defense. Tell me what that run was like to get to the Super Bowl, because you came from a place you were in San Fran. You guys didn't win much, if my memory serves me correctly. Cleveland, we definitely didn't win much at all. And you get to Denver, and it's like it's a new world, And then you go on that run. What was that run like, and what was the difference, in your opinion, of the culture and the guys from everywhere you had been previously? Yeah.
Believe, like we all believed in each other. We all cared for one another. Like it was no egos from top down, Right. Because, coaches sometimes have an ego and want to control things and not let the players play. I believe that once a coach let the players take ownership of a team, then your team will win. Your team will excel. But once the coach want to start micromanaging and telling players what to do, setting this time, you got a curfew doing it, you got to do this, and making it so like militant,
right?
You'll lose the players. The generation has changed. You'll lose the players. You got to learn to adapt and adjust.
Right. That's a great point. You bring up a great point, and it leads me to this next question I have for you. You were adamant everywhere you've been adamant about getting the guys together, whether it be a Friday or a Monday, the time we have free time. I got a 2-part question. Was that something that was innate in you, or is that something like an old head kind of passed down to you? Because I remember when we was in Indy, you would get pissed at me if I didn't come to a DB night or whatever. Because when I did, it was fellowship, man, and I see why. Because you had the experience, you had the winning experience, and I'm assuming y'all had that camaraderie in Denver, and you brought that to Indy, and I had never had that up until that, and I had it when you were around, when I was playing with you. Once you left, it kind of died down, So, was that passed down to you from an old head? Was that something that you just love being around the guys?
Champ Bailey put me on with that.
Yeah.
And I saw Peyton Manning doing it a lot. And sometimes he would invite me out to eat too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I see how close guys get, and I see how, so now we make it, hey, DB night Thursday. You got to show up.
I had a ball, bro. And Indy, I had a ball.
And that was mandatory. I made it mandatory. Monday night, we come in there, whether you can come for 15 minutes and leave, but you got to come.
But you got to show up
to everybody and go, but you got to show up. You don't show up,
that was
do it next time.
That was love, man. And we had our best season. We had some of our best seasons there, man. And
we was tight, man. We was tight.
Yeah. Man, I remember we had some great nights. Monday night game would be on and guys doing whatever. We got the room upstairs, and it was fellowship, man. That's one thing I do miss ever since I retired, is that fellowship. Just guys shooting the breeze, man, and telling each other the truth. And the more time you spend together, the more you can tell the truth. And I bring that up because there wasn't a lot of guys in the league. I remember, I forget who we were playing. We were in Indy, and we were getting gashed running the ball. And I remember looking in the huddle, he was like, "Hey, Q, y'all got to tighten up there, man. Like, y'all stop the run. We'll stop the pass. Y'all got to tighten up." There's not many guys willing to speak like that during the course of a game and not take offense by it. I never took offense by it. And I would, we would have our talks. I would have my talks with D-Butt. But that was the type of football that I missed, when all guys were equally invested in winning and holding each other accountable, man. That's what 16 years. Yeah.
Accountability. Yep. That's what it was. And I think that in Indy, I think that was one of the things that, especially playing with D-Butt, that we wasn't afraid of. We wasn't afraid to call out anybody. No one was exempt. No one was exempt. Like, if you messing up, hey, what's up? Tighten up. What you doing?
Oh man, do you remember?
If I'm making 7-8 tackles in the first half, I'm coming with you. What's going on? I'm making too many tackles.
Yeah, I remember that, bro. I remember that, and it was like you were the spokesman for the DBs, because no youngster couldn't come up to me and say that. Nah, we not having that. I get it. Yeah, hey, bro, you ain't got enough hours in this game to talk to me like that, bro. Nah, there's only a handful of guys that can talk to me like that, and one of them is bald, and his head is shiny. You know what I'm saying? He was one of them, bro. Oh man. So hey, Mike. So I got one other thing I got for you, man. Every week I have a guest on. I come up with random rapid fire questions. This week I'm calling it the Pick Six. Because, both of us played on the defense side of the ball, and we know a pick six is a game changer. So I got some fun questions for you. A little light. I got one that's a little head scratch. You may have to think a little bit, but I think it'll be all right. You ready?
How many we got?
I got 6. Pick 6, man. Pick 6. Come on now. Matter of fact.
Rapid fire, right?
Yeah, matter of fact, you can take your time. Matter of fact, before I get into this, I looked up something that said do you know how many defensive touchdowns you had?
I think I only got 2, 3.
That's too bad. No, you got 2, because I got 3. I got one more than you, bro. Yeah, believe that. Believe that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
How many interceptions you got?
We're not talking about it. I'm the one asking the question. I'm the one asking the question. This is called Athletes Unplugged, not Be a Pro. Okay.
Okay, good. You're good. You're right.
All right. So the first, no, you good. You good. All right. So we got 6 questions. The first one is, what's your favorite movie or sitcom?
Ooh, anything with Martin. Thin line between.
Already know it.
I like
a layup.
Life. I
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
Harlem. I even go back to Harlem Nights, like Harlem Nights. Oh
Yeah, that's a
man.
classic. That's a classic.
Yeah,
That's a
go
classic. All
like
right, I figured you was gonna land somewhere on Martin. All right, the second one, because I know how big of a movie fan you, or I'm sorry, a music fan you are. What was the first concert you ever attended?
concert.
Mhm.
First concert I went to was Life Jennings.
Oh, okay,
I was
okay.
49ers, bro.
Yeah,
Ariana took
like Jitters. That's
man.
dope. You know
She
what
took
my
me. That was one of the best gifts she did.
yo, my very first concert, I fell in love. You know, I'm from Florida, so I went to it was no limit concert, and Trina was there. I fell in love, bro. Fell in love. Fell in love. All right. So question number 3. Again, because I kind of know how you move. What's the best vacation you've ever taken, and why?
Africa.
Mm.
I went to Africa. I went
Yeah.
to
Enough said. Mm-hmm.
Cape Town. Then I went to then I we was in I don't know why I drew a blank just now.
No, it's all good. It's all. Listen, I had a chance to go to Cape Town in South Africa before the pandemic hit. We actually got back March 7th. I think the world shut down like a week or two later, so we just made it. But we spent some time in the bush and did the whole safari. It was dope. It was dope.
Safari, yeah, it was dope.
Yeah. So question number 4 is a little bit of a a little thinker. You got to take your time with it, but I think you can handle it. It's would you rather have more time or more money?
Time.
Okay. I wrote the question. Not even I had to think about it. I was like, yeah, more time, because the more time I have to make money, I get the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
All right. So question number 5, turkey bacon or pork bacon?
I almost smacked you just now. Right in your head.
Hey, you know why I put that? You know why I put this question on here? Remember when we went to Costa Rica? Every morning we argued about the turkey bacon, how everybody was eating the turkey bacon. It's food, Mike. It's food, Pops.
No. Whoever listening to this, let me talk right now.
Oh my God.
You need to be a pro. You need to be a pro. Listen, if you got a house and you got a chef there cooking, and some people, if you got one person in there that don't eat pork,
you're not gonna eat it all.
One person in there that don't eat pork, and then somebody come and make turkey bacon and pork bacon. Everybody in the house gonna eat turkey bacon and leave the pork bacon right there. See, that goes to show.
But see, this is the problem. This is the problem. I woke up earlier than you did. The turkey bacon was done first. Oh no, you're right. You're right, because you were screaming, waking everybody up. That's right. That's right.
Yes.
No, but bro, it's food. He cooking food for everybody. You gonna be selfish and not share your turkey bacon, bro? It was good. It was good.
Why you want my turkey bacon? Man, go ahead. Go.
I eat turkey bacon and pork bacon. All right. Last question. Last question I got for you of the pick 6.
So and another thing about my turkey bacon. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, it's all good. All right. So do you know how many career games you've ever played in? I'm setting up the last question. Do you know that?
Yeah. I think is it 220?
228.
228.
So my question to you is, for everybody listening, and I'm gonna stroke your ego for a second. There's been, in the history of the National Football League, first of all, 228 ranked 6th all time in the history of the National Football League of career games ever played by defensive backs. Did you hear me? Let me repeat it. At 228 career games, you are 6th all time in the history of the NFL of career games played by defensive backs. My question to you is, can you name the 5 guys ahead of you? I'll give you a hint. The first one. I'll give you a hint. He played where I live right now. He played for the team where I live right now. His last name is a color.
No, I know. Darryl Green.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it. Darryl Green. Darryl Green has 295 career games played. That's one.
It was somebody that I'm right behind with 229, right? Is it Rod Woodson? No, I passed Rod.
Oh yeah. So Rod Woodson is at 238. He's actually fifth all time. So you got Darryl Green at 295. You have you at 228. Rod Woodson at 238, and you got three other guys left.
Who are they? I forgot.
Charles Woodson. He's number 2 overall, 254 games. You have Eugene Robertson. He played for Seattle. I had to look him up. Yep. He's at 250 career games. And Rondé Barber, he's at 241. So again, I have to give you your respect for a guy that went to a 1AA school. You played at University of Delaware, Blue Hens. You were undrafted in 2004. You were drafted over multiple times throughout your career. Other guys were put in front of you multiple times throughout your career. And somehow you were able to overcome all of that adversity, escape injury, play 16 years, and have a legacy left behind with 6 overall with career games at 228. Bro, I got to give you another round of applause, bro. I got to give you another round of applause. And with that, bro, we got to end on that note. I can't come with nothing else after that, bro.
No doubt,
I appreciate it. Yeah, bro. Hey, Pops, I appreciate your time, your perspective. I wish you nothing but love and nothing but the best at Chicago. The boys don't know what they're getting, man. They're getting a legend in the making. And I can see you one day being a coach, a front office, GM, whatever the case may be. But I'm happy for you guys, man. I'm happy for you and Chicago. The secondary is going to be intact, bro. So salute to you. Tell the family I said hello. And I appreciate it, bro. All love.